You recently had the opportunity not once but twice to honor the U.S. Navy and young people who may be entering this branch of service. Tell us about that.
Right, so this past week, 2 different times I had resolutions on the House floor that honored the Navy. The very first one honored the Navy Junior ROTC, the Wildcat Battalion at Oak Harbor High School. You know, this is a young group of high school students and their advisors and leaders that have done such a great job representing the community of Oak Harbor. And I was so very proud of them that I offered a resolution in front of the House that was accepted unanimously. And last week, the Oak Harbor Junior ROTC Color Guard and another contingent of the Wildcat Battalion came down and they presented colors on the House floor. So that was something that was really very special to me to honor them. And then the very next day was Navy Day here in the House, and our new skipper at Naval Air Station Whidbey Island, Captain Moore, was down here to greet us and say hello. So I got to meet him and chat with him a little bit as well, and I spoke on the resolution on the House floor for Navy Day as well. It was a fun week for me.
As a means to address the McCleary decision, the legislature has passed and sent to the governor Senate Bill 6195, which would establish a task force to create an education funding plan for 2017. You voted against that bill. Can you explain why?
I did indeed. You know, everybody is very aware of the fact that we need to solve this McCleary funding issue, and key to that issue is ending the state's dependence on local levy dollars to fund basic education issues. And this bill gets into that. Now, the reason I voted no on this bill in the end was because it binds future legislatures. And that's one of the many things that got us in trouble in the first place, was clear back in 2008, that legislature binding us out into the future. This bill does the same thing in some ways. And really what the McCleary ruling is demanding from us, what the Supreme Court is demanding, is a plan. This bill does not provide that plan. It's a plan for a plan by saying, hey, next year, 2017 legislature, make this plan. And I think that we just need to put that plan in place and move forward. There are some very good things about that bill when it comes down to forming the task force to do the studies that are necessary for information that we don't currently know. And I support that. But in the end, this is a plan for a plan that binds a future legislature, and I just can't support that kind of policy. This bill really doesn't let us off the hook with the McCleary Supreme Court. And not that I'm really looking to support the Supreme Court's decision, because I believe that they have stepped outside their bounds in making this decision. And I'm not looking to satisfy them. I'm looking to satisfy my obligation to the state constitution by funding education first. And we're going to talk here in a few minutes about that when it comes down to the budget that we're working on.
Well, House and Senate supplemental operating budgets have been released, and you also voted against the House proposal. Tell us why. One
of the reasons that I voted against the House proposal is because of the McCleary funding portion of it. So within this budget proposal that came from the House Democrats, it drains down our rainy day fund, the budget stabilization account, to help pay for this problem with education. Everybody realizes the fact that we have a problem with education. We need to increase funding. I'm not willing to spend our last dime to help fund education. I want to spend our first dollar. We need to pay for education up front and not depend on a budget stabilization account, that rainy day fund, to fund education. Because believe me, the rainy day is coming, and I think it's right around the corner where we may have to depend on that, and that's what those monies are for. You know, and also this budget bill also raises taxes to the tune of about $120 million this year, and out into the future, into the next biennium, over $400 million. And these are tax increases that the House Democrats and Senate Democrats have proposed since 2008. They've had 10 different times when they've had the opportunity to bring these tax increases to the floor, and they've refused to bring their own tax increases to the floor for a final vote. So it just really makes me question their dedication to this situation. And in the end, I believe that we can fund education first and properly prioritize our budget situation to get to that final plan. And we must realize that we are in a supplemental budget year. We made major increases, major investments in our education situation last year during the big budget issue. And this supplemental budget year is time for us to focus on the small tweaks that are necessary to solve these emergency problems like the wildfires in Eastern Washington and some other issues like that. It's not time to grow major programs or ask for new spending plans out into the future. So I think that we need to focus on that, and next year we'll address major investments and really get back into the nuts and bolts of a 2-year budget.
The legislature is scheduled to adjourn March 10th. Do you believe it'll finish on time?
We know what needs to be done, and there's no reason that we can't finish on time. So I expect that we will be out of here next Thursday on the 10th. That's my hope. We need to drive on and do what's right for the citizens. In the meantime, I really hope that folks out in the 10th Legislative District contact me. Let me know your thoughts on this budget proposal. Let me know what your priorities are as we move forward. And you can do that by emailing me or telephoning my office.